TradeTheMBI.com. This is John's reports for the 29th. We're going straight to a 5K chart here. This is part of, if you don't get done what you said you're going to get done, the market reacts. So we got a little bit of softy. This was nothing. But the war is dragged on and you're not getting any resolution whatsoever. And because of that, you get a little bit of softness and then it gets bought back up. So traders are basically playing the inflation is coming game, and there isn't any question about that because all you gotta do is turn to oil here. We're over the 100 mark. You know, yes, Iran may be suffering, but the rest of the global market is suffering at the same time. It's a lose lose. And the question is, from the Iranians' view, they can suffer more because they're stronger believers in whatever. Who knows? But it's a problem. All we did was erase the up move the last couple of days. Of course, you get some earnings coming out a little bit later that will matter relatively, but how much does it matter when you're already still sitting at the highs? And as we've talked about before, you get this breakout past the 100%, it's got to come up. And then once we do get a sell signal, we know that we're going to be retesting that 7,100 range anyway. Still, little to zero from a short activity MBI white here, and it's just a question of are there buyers to sustain it? And, now we're at month end, so you would expect a little bit of movement, but everyone's pretty much well positioned to one direction, and that's to the upside, which that becomes problematic because then you have greater risk and anxiety, and literally that's where people are. The further this goes across, the more anxiety rises, and people are thinking, well, maybe I should, take my gains. But the problem is that half these people coming up got in very late. So yeah, from their standpoint, they haven't gotten the return that, when we saw the turnaround happening with the DOC here dipping below from a daily and then following it on the 50K, that others didn't see that. Eurozone, from its standpoint, again, you still have the same issues. Nothing's changed. Germany, all of them struggling. And, it's going to be interesting because while Iran gets filled up with all of its excess, capacity, try to store it, they're either going to shut wells or figure something else out. And then you have a problem with actual fuel. You know, some European airlines talking about canceling routes and that just isn't enough jet fuel. So it's a real thing. Um, Gold, not a whole lot of excitement. This one is going to shift as soon as the market turns and we start to get CPI numbers and that are starting to reflect uh, how broad the inflation setup is. Uh, Bitcoin suffered a little bit of softness within the DOC readings here and a rise in the short interest. Maybe there just isn't as much activity going on for paying to get through the straight any longer. And because of that, not as much demand. Currently in the futures markets right now, it's pretty much flat to nothing. And so, from a reading standpoint, no objections to this whatsoever. The volatility is modest. I wouldn't call this extreme in any way, shape, or form, especially given the levels we're at. 40, 50 point move is nothing anymore. It mattered back down at 1,500, 2,000, but you're at 7,000, so it just doesn't represent much. But needless to say, makes it easier to get pretty decent return from some of these moves. As always, though, with the month ending, new indicators will come out, and it'll be very exciting start to the month because chickens are coming home to roost, and there just isn't any more time to extend it. And unfortunately, when you're out there, saying you're going to bomb another country into oblivion, you're either going to have to do it or get a result, and we got nothing at this particular stage. So I think that's just going to build anxiety, especially with where oil numbers are going, and it's not helpful. So long and the short of it for now. Anything relevant, I will put it on the team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.